Awesome. Thanks for joining, man.
Yeah, I didn't intend to. I just it popped up on my Twitter, and I was like, "All right, let's do it."
What up? Yeah, we anticipate we were anticipating no one showing up, but we're recording. If you don't mind, we'll post it to our YouTube channel here.
That's cool.
Got some tangled headphones over here.
Yeah, let's get started here. So we got a pretty good list of questions that came through. Thanks everyone with the Manna community that is gonna watch this at our first AMA. Just want to make sure there's full disclosure that all this dialogue is just educational information from personal views and some actual formal decisions from the organization, and none of it is intended for investment advice or anything. So just want to be clear on how people perceive this information. Just want to give a quick high-level overview of where things have gone this past quarter and some events that all came through. So quick update, John and Eric were able to visit San Francisco to meet for that UBI pitch day at Draper University, which was a cool experience. I was not able to attend, unfortunately. My wife is 8.5 months pregnant, and I couldn't leave. So yeah, the YouTube pitch thing is on our channel if anyone's interested to take a look. And then last week there was Blockchain Week in NYC. We had Ken represent Manna at this amazing Open UBI kind of discussion day. Also, Philip Silva was there representing Bright ID, which I've heard that it was a good turnout and very beneficial relationships were commenced there, that Ken introduced us to two organizations that it looks like there might be a good relationship forming. Phil could possibly even give more detail in this call of how that went. And then we had our coin burn from what we disclosed on our white paper when we launched Manna. So we officially did the coin burn. That was successful. And then also John can go on some of what Code the Change has been working on, and they've committed to another year working with us. We're extremely blessed with that relationship, just getting these student volunteers to help keep slowly but surely pushing some development forward. And then also Eric will be speaking at the North American Basic Income Guarantee in June 15th and 16th in New York City, which we're excited about. He's probably going to be the only one that will be able to attend there, and Ken, and then also our film crew, Ram, should be there as well. So, John, you want to give a quick update too on the Code the Change team?
Yeah, so everything is rocking and rolling with them. Our goal is before the end of this semester, within the next month or so, to have our next release out, which will include our profile page and the dashboard. It's going to be a pretty exciting update. We'll have definitely a lot of new features available. People will be able to make connections, and it'll start to really look more like a proper platform. There'll still be a couple of our final features that we'll be working on over the summer and maybe into early fall to complete maybe the full vision of our first kind of concept of what ManaBase will be. But so this should be exciting, and the Code the Change team's been doing an amazing job. It's really cool just to see the next generation, how passionate and hardworking they are, and it's been a really great experience so far. So
yeah, and you met with them in San Francisco, right?
Yep. Yeah, so we met for the first time in person with 3 members of the team when we visited in San Francisco last, I guess, month and a half ago. And it was great. It was awesome seeing the campus and actually getting to meet these guys we've been talking to on a weekly basis for months in person.
Yeah,
So.
Drew is a personality you don't come around, and it actually gives me a lot of confidence that the next generation of these like just really intelligent people are gonna do some amazing things on this planet. So we're blessed to have that relationship. Phil, if you don't mind, would you like to share how that Open UBI discussion went last week? Or I don't want to put you on the spot, but I would love to hear from your perspective how that went.
Happy to. Yeah, so we had, so we called it Open UBI New York. Open UBI is an online collection of a whole bunch of different projects that think that this basic general stuff should happen. And it's an opportunity to try to bring different thinking and ideas together so we can find common ground and figure out what works. So this was our third time that we've met up, and this is the first time in the United States, previously twice in Europe. So we had about, 35 people in attendance. We probably had 6 or 7 different groups represented of people that presented and did discussion panels. It was nice to, just spend more time in person with some of these people we've been chatting with online. So there was presentations by Manna, by Bright ID, by Project Gresham, and Good Dollar, all those. And then we had some lively discussion panels as well. One thing that was interesting is we had folks from the old school fiat UBI community.
Nice.
So, including Michael Lewis, who started US Big back in 1999.
Wow.
He's been doing this. So interesting to get his perspective and for him to listen to ours. And there were some other folks also from that old school community. And I think that they're intrigued by what we have to say. They don't really believe it all yet.
Right. Yeah.
It's pretty unbelievable. But they've just never thought about UBI possibly being done without massive government support and funding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's a big we're all learning on this journey, like it's been one big just experiment that we're kind of going on. So thanks. And for those of you that don't know Philip, he is a passionate man about solving global poverty. He did an amazing TED talk in Birmingham. What was the town there you did it?
Deerfield, Massachusetts.
Deerfield, yeah. Would love to post that. I know we posted it or retweeted or something that we have, but maybe we can get on our channel. But really great guy. Really, we look forward to working more with Phil and his network moving forward. So thanks for providing. Yeah, Ken gave us an update that he met probably someone you need to chat with. Is in these DAO community. I forgot the group he's with, and then the Brooklyn. He got invited to speak at of another event the next evening, and it was held at the Brooklyn Law facility or something. So they have a similar program like Code to Change, but for legal students, solving these kind of like gray area technological business model solutions that need to adapt to help push humanity forward. So we're excited to see what that relationship could look like.
Cool.
So yeah, let's go on a few questions here. Eric is not gonna join us here. He's busy with some other stuff. So John and I will be tackling these and we'll just kind of bounce back and forth. So here's a common question. I've provided all the documents and my account is still not receiving UBI and shows approved. John, would you like to answer that one?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've, for the time being, our new signups have been on a waiting list. While we have had some just other administrative stuff that's kind of backlogged the system. That being said, we are going to begin the process of approving the manual signups starting on June 1st. And so most people who are in that waiting list should get approved within some time in June. And we're going to go ahead and basically provide the relative amount of Manna that they, as like a bonus that they would have received while they were waiting, just so it doesn't feel like, okay, I signed up here and haven't been receiving Manna for a couple months. So yeah, if you have signed up and you've been on the waiting list, don't worry, you'll have the same amount of Manna you would have otherwise, and we will basically from there forward be continuing with the manual process unless we get some huge influx that slows it down. And yeah, so I guess that's all mainly sums it up.
Cool. And yeah, just another point that I would really like the community to understand is that solving this one user, one account problem is a very difficult problem that has not been solved. And actually, I'm glad Philip is on this call. He's an advocate and an organizer with the Bright ID, and that is a solution we are heavily looking into to integrate into ManaBase. The discussions so far are very promising. So yeah, like that problem is not something, all of this doesn't happen overnight. To create a new monetary policy that's distributed as a universal basic income, and then you got to solve this one user, one account problem as well. So your
Absolutely.
patience is much appreciated. Thank you so much for everyone's patience as we continue this journey. All right, what is the progress for technology? Again, John, that's probably your realm.
Yeah. So as I said before, the next update for ManaBase is coming out shortly. This summer, we're going to be continuing to work on researching in depth the options for where we're going to land on our next generation blockchain. In coordination with that, one of the things we did when we were in San Francisco, we actually met with some of the guys from the Stellar team to see if that option makes sense, and if, as well as a few other blockchain options. And we still haven't decided. It's all in the research stage, but it's something we're absolutely looking towards. We're going to be developing or focusing continuously on some of this one identity, one user protocol. As Brandon just mentioned, the Bright ID is going to be Web of Trust element is going to be a key part of this, and that's something we're looking to work on a lot this summer. We actually got to meet Adam Stollard, who's the founder of Bright ID, when we were in San Francisco, and that was awesome. That was the first time we had a chance to meet him in person as well. So that's something that's going to be a high priority coming up. Am I missing anything, Brandon?
No, and just another point, just we've been taking this thing just very conservatively as the landscape develops and matures, to not make any rational decisions to land this project on a blockchain that we don't feel comfortable with the team or the community around it. So yeah, we're definitely just investigating where the best would be for this project and our community to land it. So yeah, cool. All right, so we have a Twitter question from or more of a statement here. Osikin, I want you guys to make partnerships, list on big exchanges like CoinEx, Binance, and also let there be stores or markets that accept Manna. John, you want to take on that one too?
Yeah. So one of the things that's kind of funny, we've been getting requests to get onto bigger exchanges for a very long time, basically since people have been signing up, and certainly that's a priority of ours as well. But it's also something that we have to be careful about. For instance, last year we had a lot of people recommending us to get onto Cryptopia, and they were going to charge us like $50,000. And if you saw in the news, they're going bankrupt because they got hacked, and they're basically disbanding the exchange. And another one, Robinhood, was one we were recommended by a bunch of individuals, and it turned out to at least apparently be a scam, an exit scam. And whether that was the case that's so, the point being that a lot of these mid-tier exchanges that everything that glitters isn't gold. Certainly Binance, Bittrex, big exchanges like that are absolutely a longer term goal, but they really look at pretty high amounts of volume before they're willing to accept a project of our caliber. And that's something certainly we're working towards. We're really focusing on making as much utility as possible for the Manna token to really provide that volume and that demand. And we think that in coordination with doing so, naturally the bigger exchanges will follow. But absolutely that's a high priority for us in the long term.
And so a point to add is we on South Exchange, it's been really nice. It's growing at a steady rate. They actually just added like 4 or 5 new pairs for Manna. Really responsive owner there. So we look for, and we're very fortunate to have that exchange list Manna from day one when it was Grantcoin. Actually, he believed in what we're about. And yeah, like if some other people have watched like some of the news, like 80% or 90% of the volume is all wash trades and just garbage volume. So again, this space is very very new, and we just have to take lessons learned from our advisors of like the .com era, and just there's some shady projects out there, and the perception from the outsiders are very like speculative of what's going on in there, and we're up against the grain on what we're trying to accomplish, but our hearts and our passions are in the right place to provide hope for humanity is our end goal here. So Facebook, Michael Idahall, when will our Manna currency be worth something? Great question. John, I'm going to give that one to you too, bro.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think that we're not in the business of promising what the value is going to be, and our goal here is just to make as much utility to Manna and the and create a really vibrant ecosystem. And I think as we do that, the market will respond. And the more users we have, the more utility we have, then naturally the more intrinsic value there's going to be in the Manna token. And it would be a matter of time. And that being said, that's no promises. Who knows what's going to happen to the price or value, but our focus is purely on creating just utility and use case and users.
Yep. Cool. All right, Steemit. We had a question. Do you have solutions to the low hash power of the network? At this point, someone could probably power a 51% attack from an average home or a cold day. Antminers. A related question, is POS a higher consideration now than it was before? Will you implement POS? For those who don't know what POS means, that's proof of stake. We are currently running a POW right now, which is called proof of work. To break this is definitely coming from a more technical individual asking this question. So proof of work is like this mining that occurs to create the blocks, and ours is every 90 seconds. So we do have a low hash rate to the blockchain. We're still very under the radar. We have an intra mining setup to keep blocks running, and also a public pool that we have friendly miners come on there for a bit when we did have some miners could like bring up the difficulty and then pull off and put a lot of hash on it. That hasn't been occurring lately. And to mitigate that risk, if we do continue seeing that, or if something happened like that, we could buy hash power from different services. As far as proof of stake, that is in the code. We haven't implemented any of that. John, you want to tap on some of the concerns with proof of stake and some of that?
Yeah. Well, proof of stake is definitely an idea in theory we're big fans of. And I think longer term, we'd certainly, our goal is to move away from mining all for the most part or altogether. It's just environmentally unsustainable. And we'd love to have a different system in the future. In terms of proof of stake, the one, I think, primary hesitation we have towards that is not capping it, so that basically if you just have a ton of mana, you basically just make your stacks all the bigger. So it doesn't really align as much with the overall mission. That being said, one of the ideas that we're really interested in would be like a capped proof of stake, where up to a certain amount you can stake mana and get rewarded for it and help secure the network. So it's definitely something that we're going to be moving towards and thinking a lot about in coordination with developing our next gen blockchain. Not going to happen in the really near term, but absolutely is a goal and a priority.
Yep. Another Steemit community member. My weekly payout have gone down lately, and I assume it's because you're back on track with signups. Will you add the signup tracker on mannabase.com again? That was a cool feature. Another one for you, John.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great feature. We just had we had an influx of some fraudulent accounts we had to work through, and so the tracker just wasn't able to be as accurate based on the way we were using the metrics to get it. I think once we get our sign up flow going well again, we'll probably integrate it as well. It's definitely something we were a fan of and we want to have available. I can't say exactly when it'll be back up, but we'll for sure have it back up at some point.
Yeah. Yep. Cool. So Chris Rice, Steemit again. Will you launch a Steam-based SMT or token on Steam Engine for Manna? I'll answer this one. So last year, we were really investigating the Steemit blockchain. The community has been amazing. We really appreciate the Steemit community and how much they've resonated with our mission. After I think the whatever crypto winter and Steemit had a lay off quite a few of their team members. I've just haven't had the bandwidth to keep up with some of the updates, but if you have some interesting projects that a Manna use case would make sense, we'd be all ears for it, but there's no near term or long term like plans to integrate. We're looking at Steemit as a social media channel where we post content to a different demographic. So that's our current kind of Steam integration. What are your thoughts on printing mana and inflation? John, that's you.
Yeah, absolutely. So of course, as probably many of you know, the way that new mana enters circulation is basically through the basic income, and that's what funds the universal basic income that is the core of how mana is distributed. And one of the really important discussions and dialogues is at what rate should that be distributed. We've started with a very conservative approach. This is all new space for us, and so we have tried to go from the attitude of we'll start conservative and then move more aggressively or however we see fit from there. And ideally that we see that as happening in coordination with bringing more individuals who are esteemed in economics and currencies and a lot of these different areas that are really complex and kind of working with the whole landscape. And then bringing more people from the community as we kind of decentralize the governance more and more as the project evolves to help with that decision making. But the end goal is to get as many people around the world with mana and to do so in a sustainable way.
Yep. Last question, and then if Phil in we had someone pig doo-doo going. If you guys have any other questions, we're more than willing to answer. So is the rate of adoption and signups going as well as you hoped? Yeah, from our perspective, absolutely. We actually had to slow it down because we were running the risk of imploding the project and really frustrating users. So we haven't done zero marketing at all, and we're still getting about 20 to 50 people that actually go through the full sign up approach of the like what we're requesting, and
Every day.
each day, yeah, and with zero marketing. When we do feel comfortable and confident that we can do the auto sign up, we have the Google ad grants that we could tap into for being a nonprofit. That we already have an organization that's what they do, wanting to work with us, but we're just not ready for it. We don't need to market this thing where we're at right now, because there's a few risks that if we get a massive influx into the network, that just we wouldn't be able to handle it. So yeah, that's all the questions. I'm looking on whether some new ones came in or not. Let me see, there might be one. A guy he thought we were going to be on Facebook. I'll reply and let him know. Maybe that's a good idea for next time, is a Facebook Live.
Facebook Live. Yeah, we could do that next time.
Yeah. Phil or Pig Doo-Doo, what up? I don't know who you are, but thanks for joining. Do you guys have any other questions or comments or suggestions as we continue on this journey of trying to create a UBI?
I'm excited to watch. Keep tabs. I was very pleased to see that in Ken's presentation, there's the Bright ID logo hiding there on the verification page. So happy to see that.
Yes, I look forward. I would love to have some more detailed conversation. I was going back and forth with Adam last night. Would like to see. I haven't been able to join your guys' weekly call. The timing just hasn't been great. But yeah, maybe you and I and Adam and John could catch up, because of my life, June 3rd is gonna get flipped upside down again. So
yeah. No, we should. I mean, Adam and I talk every single day, so
okay.
Happy to give you guys anytime.
Okay. And my schedule is going to be a little bit more open than Brandon's. So if it's easier for me to join a call, I'm happy to do so. I'd love to get the dialogue moving further. Just definitely an area we want to get moving and grooving as quick as possible. So
cool. All righty. Well, really appreciate you guys joining. And then, yeah, I'll post this to our YouTube channel here if I get time this afternoon. So really appreciate everyone's patience. And yeah, thanks for believing in these ideas and our team as we try to push this all forward. So until next time, we plan to do this more often when it's relevant. So we'll keep everyone posted. So, all righty. Thanks, everyone.
Brandon, before you guys go, do you have a minute to end the official meeting and talk with me?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep. Let me